Yo, All right, we're good. Okay. Jeezy TV back with another video. It's a live stream, so I can kind of be that sloppy. But we are back with another video. Hopefully, we don't lag too much. I'm shooting this off my laptop, and you guys are also going to be getting a Squid Game video shot off the laptop. So it might get a little rough out here, but we will see how it goes. We have NBA action from Sunday, January 12th, and I know I'll say this many times. I know playoff basketball is on, and playoff football is on, and no one really gives a fuck about the NBA. But I just want to talk about it. Obviously, my fucking Celtics barely won their game today, so that's something worth talking about. So we're going to get into that game, a couple more games from this evening and day, and then that'll be that. And then I have to record my Squid Game video, probably go hit some cardio, work on the Squid Game video until bedtime, and then let's get it. So Celtics Pelicans. Celtics withstand the return of Zion Williamson, and they beat the Pelicans by a point. Obviously, Jason Tatum is playing at a super high level, scoring at a high level, rebounding at a high level, and we also had Kristaps Porzingis out there scoring at a decent level and rebounding at a high level as well. They overcame Zion Williamson. He came back from that suspension, and obviously he's back from his injury for like the second or third game. So there's that as well. And they beat the Pelicans by a point, which is pretty concerning. Good game for Jason Tatum, though. Just kind of taking the game in his hands, making sure we get the victory here. Back-to-back slams in crunch time, just energizing the crowd, getting everybody amped, giving us some momentous plays. You gotta love Jason Tatum for that. Hitting threes. He was all over this game. Really good game. Shout out to guys like Drew Holiday down the stretch, kind of hitting some tough shots. But, yeah, man, you look at the Pelicans, you get a 26-point game for DeJounte Murray. He was playing really good, 67% three-point shooting. You get a 30-point performance for Trey Murphy, who had shot 50% from three. I don't know. I say this a lot with the Pelicans. It's really just that Yves Missy guy. And again, I know he's a rookie, and I know we should probably give him a bit of a chance, but he's just not that good of an offensive player for them, especially, just having Valanciunas. Obviously they have Jose Alvarado and they have Javonte Green off the bench to kind of be their more offensive players, but I don't know. Yves Missy, I don't think he should start yet. I think they should find someone else for now to kind of even mentor him and get him in that mode, But moving on, let's talk Kings and Bulls. Domantas Sabonis stars as DeMar DeRozan and the Streaking Kings beat the Bulls. They win by 5. The Kings have been playing really, really well recently, so shout out to them. Had a huge win over my Celtics, so that's awesome. Domantas Sabonis doing a little bit of everything, though. Scoring, rebounding at a high level, passing at a decent level as well. So it's great. This is a 7-game win streak. This is the best we have seen the Kings all year, so shout out to them for that. That's great. They get the dub, and honestly, the Bulls are a pretty good team. I know their record doesn't really say that, but they've won some crazy games. So for the Kings to come out here and win, I think that's another good win kind of stamped on this streak. Josh Giddey almost had a triple-double. Josh Giddey's been cooking this year. I'm not going to lie. Again, I know the Bulls haven't had much success and hasn't been leading to much, but Josh Giddey, he's been playing some pretty good basketball lately. De'Aaron Fox was getting some oop dunks, and he was getting some tough shots to fall as well. Obviously, Zach LaVine was making it tough, hitting a bunch of threes. Zach LaVine's a great basketball player, man. If there was any doubt, man, he is showing this season that he is still a hell of a basketball player. He scores the ball at our all-star level. He even, shoots the ball at all-star, percentage. So, shout out to Zach LaVine. Obviously, they didn't win, but let's talk about the Kings first because they actually did win. You get 22 points, 15 rebounds for Domantas Sabonis, who shot 50% from 3, 80% overall. Great shooting splits. 21-point game for DeMar DeRozan, who shot 33% from 3. 26 points for De'Aaron Fox, who shot 50% from 3. So the big three comes out and plays really well there. You look at the Bulls, you get a 36-point, 10-rebound game for Zach LaVine while shooting 50%. That was a great game for him. Josh Giddey had 12 points, 11 rebounds. He shot 50% from 3. I don't know. Pat Williams in your starting lineup. I don't know. Maybe try guys out like Jalen Smith. Maybe try guys out like THT off the bench. I don't know. They have a lot of experimenting to do because Patrick Williams really isn't the greatest starter to have out there now. I'm not hating on him as a basketball player. It's just as a starter, I really don't think he's it there. So there's kind of my thoughts for that game. Let's move on to the 76ers and Magic game where Cole Anthony and Paolo Banchero lead the Magic past the 76ers. Obviously, getting Paolo Banchero back in the swing of things, and they're winning games, so that's awesome. They win by 5. Great scoring for Cole Anthony. He's had a couple really good performances, being that role player. Paolo Banchero, crazy, last minute and a half, being a super clutch basketball player out there, and, a young talent in the league going out helping them win. So that's great. going against tough defenders like Paul George and just getting through them and throwing it down, using your size, that's really something that's been huge for Paolo Banchero. Really good game, though. This was a really good game. I don't have any complaints about it. Tyrese Maxey was making it pretty tough down the stretch. Eric Gordon was even out there hitting some threes and stuff like that. Trevelin Queen had some big plays, so shout out to him. I don't know, man. You look at the Sixers, Paul George has actually been playing a little better recently. I mean, 25 points, 10 rebounds. He shot 50%. You get a 29-point game for Tyrese Maxey off of 33% three-point shooting. I don't know, not a good game for Guerschon Yabusele, and I think games like this where you're playing a guy like Paolo Banchero and you're playing that size, I think the size matters, and I think they're kind of at a disadvantage with that. Guerschon, I mean, they really don't have anyone else on the bench to kind of cover for him, but Guerschon Yabusele could have played a little bit better, just wasn't super involved offensively. Again, obviously, great at the rim defense that you have on the Magic, very tough team to score on at the rim. But you have Paolo Banchero for the Magic going for 20 points, he shot 50% from three. You get a 27-point performance for Cole Anthony, who shot 33% from three. And then off the bench, Jonathan Isaac, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 50% three-point shooting. That is probably the best game I've seen out of Jonathan Isaac, and he's kind of been an X factor there. Probably the best game I've seen from him, since his return from injury. So that's really cool. Shout out to Jonathan Isaac. We have two more games to talk about, though. Let's get into the Nets and the Jazz, kind of the toilet bowl sort of game here in the NBA, but you get to see young talent like Isaiah Collier make some big plays, hit a late layup in overtime. He lifts the Jazz over the Nets. They win by 8 points. And I've had my doubts about Isaiah Collier in the past, but he played really good this game. And he deserves all the credit in the world. Drove for the go-ahead layup with 2 seconds left, and they get a huge overtime victory. Pretty competitive game. Obviously, none of these teams are really going to be contenders, but I have to talk about it on the channel because it was a close one. Splitting through defense, Isaiah Collier being super crafty. Gotta love it. Not a guy that most people really thought was going to be super successful coming out of USC, but he's been kind of proving himself recently, so that's fun. Obviously, throughout the game, the Nets were doing really well. Ben Simmons was doing pretty good at running the offense and getting guys like Keon Johnson open. Fun game to watch. Tosan Evbuomvam, who was on that Princeton team, I think that was making upsets in the tournament. He was getting to the rim. Day'Ron Sharpe was getting some tough shots to fall, but the Jazz obviously win the day. You look at the Nets, though, 14 points, 12 rebounds for Nick Claxton. You get a 22-point performance for that I'm not even going to try it. The guy from Princeton off the bench who shot 67% from three. Not going to lie, though, I don't know what the hell Noah Clowney was doing out there. The dude shot 0 for 10. That is terrible. You could have put anyone else on the bench. Jalen Wilson, Evbuomvam, Day'Ron Sharpe. Some guys that you don't even see in this lineup that much. Reese Beekman. You have, Tyrese Martin. You have all sorts of different guys off the bench. He's not playing good. These guys need to get minutes, and they kind of did that with Tyrese Martin. They were putting him out there, but dude, I don't know. Not a great game for Noah Clowney whatsoever. You look at the Jazz, though. You get a 21-point performance for Colin Sexton off of 33% three-point shooting, and you get 23 out of Isaiah Collier, who shot 50% from three. So again, the young guard leading his team to victory. Love to see it. And then we get into the game that's going to close out the night, the game that just concluded between the Hornets and the Suns. Devin Booker scores 30 points. Kevin Durant is 27. The Suns rally to beat the Hornets by 7. And for a while, it really wasn't looking that good for them. It was not looking like they were going to win this game, but they came out, found a way. Shout out to them. Great scoring for both Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, continuing to kind of be that scoring duo. Now, obviously, that trade didn't turn out the way they wanted to, but again, they're going to keep that consistency. They're going to score the ball out of the final at a high level. And in the final minutes of this game, they rally, they come back and win. Guys like Royce O'Neal down the stretch were hitting some big shots. Just a good game here. Kevin Durant was getting to the rim and throwing it down. LaMelo was making it tough. He was facilitating. He was playing good on both sides of the ball. And obviously, like Mark Williams, taking advantage of the absence of Yusuf Nurkic and just punishing the fucking rim all game. That guy was incredible this game. Yeah, they're going to need Yusuf Nurkic back. Obviously, the Suns win this game just because the Hornets are the worst team, even when they don't have Nurkic. But, yeah, you look at the Hornets, 21 points for Miles Bridges, who shot 60% from three. 24 points and 16 rebounds for Mark Williams, who shot 75%. You get a 25-point, 11-assist performance for LaMelo Ball. It's just they don't have the depth. You have a guy like I don't hate Josh Green, but he's had some pretty stinky games recently for this organization. You had him out there. You can try Nick Richards and go big ball. You can go Mičić. I mean, you have Nick Smith Jr., you have Cody Martin, you have these different bench players that you could try out. I don't even fucking know. I don't know what happened to Josh Green. He went from making huge plays over in Dallas in the playoffs to putting up shitty games. And, like, as a starter for most of the season, only averaging, like, 7 points a game. He doesn't really do anything spectacular. But I'll get off his dick, my bad. But Kevin Durant put up 27. And you get a 30-point performance for Devin Booker shooting 50%. So very efficient basketball there. Monday, there's going to be some games. Again, there is a wild card game, so I'm probably not going to pay attention to this too much. But, hey, you get Pistons Knicks playing tomorrow. You get the Grizzlies Rockets. That'll be a super exciting game. And then you get, like, Heat and Clippers. That'll be a decent game to kind of close out the night. So that's going to do it. Guys, again, I'm going to go record my Squid Games video. I got to go find a fucking phone charger first. Go hit some cardio, kind of work on this video. I have this propped up on my monitor, so it kind of seems like a PC setup, but it is not. I am on my fucking laptop, and it's kind of rough, honestly, but yeah, I decided to stay the night, so another night at my house before I go back to school, so that's why you're not seeing me in my school setup, but we'll get that set up soon. Tomorrow night, you're going to get an NBA recap here, and I might even shoot some NFL recap stuff. So a lot of sports stuff. The seasons are boiling down. Obviously, basketball, we're not even halfway through, so that's exciting. We get a lot of hoops coming up. But football, we are really boiling down to it. There are only 8 teams. There are only 8 teams remaining in the NFL playoffs. Well, after